Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 762nd battle that I've put onto YouTube. Now, this is a Barbarian Invasion battle. Okay, it's a very, very rare 4v4 battle. Now, the rules we play for Barbarian Invasion are 12 cavalry max, including 2 horse archers. Okay, 2 elephants max, 2 artillery max, and 4 berserkers max. And just to say, the Hun faction, because they've got really rubbish infantry and no foot archers, the Hun faction has got no cavalry maximum, but has got a 4 horse archer maximum. So that's what I mean. We've just changed the rules a little bit in comparison to the rules we play on Rome Total War. Okay, so I thought I'd just give you a heads up on that. That we do play different rules here, and we play for 30k each on Barbarian Invasion, and we play Barbarian Invasion every Sunday night if you'd like to join us. Okay, this is fought on my favourite map, the Germanic Forest map, as I said before, where we can fight out in the open plains if we want to there. Or if we want to hide in the woods there and spring nasty ambushes onto enemy troops. Plus, of course, this has got the winter bonus and the woods bonus for any barbarian troops that barbarian factions that people bring to the battlefield. Okay, so our first teammate is Brotherhood member TR. Now, he's got the Alemanni faction. I thought those of you not familiar with Barbarian Invasion might like to have a look at some of the units. Now, these are the spear warband units here. Now, of course, because they've got spears, they're going to be anti-cavalry, but they're quite good at holding infantry, and also they're very good at soaking up enemy missiles there, because they're 120-man units, and they're quite cheap as well. And then you've got the Lombard berserkers here. Okay, they bring a big fear factor, and they use those double-handed swords there, so they can be very effective. And if you look at the size of the berserkers in comparison to ordinary troops, you'll see the berserkers are bigger there. And of course, they've got their hit points as well, so they are a very powerful unit, the berserker units. Now here he's got his chosen axemen. Remember, those axes are effective against armour. Okay, and used properly, they can cut wide swathes through heavily armoured troops like Roman infantry. Very effective. Now, with the Alemanni, you've got 2 different types of archers. You've got the armoured archers, which are medium range, and these Lombard archers, which are not armoured, but are long range. But because they're not armoured, they're obviously going to be killed easier than armoured archers. Okay, but you can see that TR has decided to go for the long range archers rather than the armoured archers. And here's their barbarian noble cavalry. They're quite tough as well. Pretty good cavalry, these guys are there. But of course, a lot of his army are hiding in the woods at the moment, which we can't have a look at. But that's a pretty good army there. And I notice TR likes to bring the Alemanni faction quite a lot on Barbarian Invasion. But remember, we are still learning this game. Our next teammate is Orcs Surena. Now, I believe this is only Orcs Surena's 2nd game on Barbarian Invasion, and he has got 4 archers, 8 comitatenses, 8 cavalry. Okay, if you have a look here, that's the comitatenses. If you notice, all the comitatenses units are eagle units, so there's a lot of morale going on with his army there. But if you look closely, you'll see he hasn't got any upgrades. See, no upgrades on his comitatenses there. If you look closely, you'll see no upgrades there. If we move further back there's more comitatenses there. I don't think they've got any upgrades on at all. So, very unusual army. But as I say, it's only his 2nd game of playing Barbarian Invasion. There he is, the Roman Eastern archers, got good long range, really good archers they are there. Unusual army. Now here, I just want to show you the 2 cavalry types. If you notice here, he has gone for the Equitae Cataphractori. Okay, now these are good solid cavalry, and they fight with spears. As you can see there, they're really well armoured. I think they got something like a 35 defence with just gold shield, gold attack on. So they are good solid cavalry. Okay. But this is the unit that most people bring for their cavalry here, and these are the Equitae Clibanarii. Now, if you notice there, those kind of rolling pins they're carrying in their hands are actually effective against armor maces. So yes, those Equitae Cataphractii are good, solid cavalry, but these guys have got effective against armor maces. So that's why most people bring those. But remember, as I say, this is only Surena's, I think, second ever battle on Barbarian Invasion. So it's all experimental for all of us anyway, because we're all kind of learning the game. Our next teammate is brother member Barclayman. Now, Barclayman's got 4 levy spearmen, 6 chosen axemen, 8 hearth infantry, and I think got 2 cavalry there. Okay, once again, we'll have a look at these units, because you might not be familiar with these units. There you already got his levy spearmen. Remember, as we say, anything with a spear in this game is anti-cavalry, plus they're very cheap, so they're also good enemy missile soakers, if you know what I mean. Good pilot shield units there, because they're cheap and they're big numbers. Then he's got his hearth troops here. Now, if you look at the specifications on these Saxon hearth troops, you'd be surprised on how good these infantry are. They can form a shield wall as well, and they are really solid infantry and well worth bringing. But it's always well worth bringing the chosen axemen as well in a combination with the hearth troops. As I say, remember, these troops are effective against armor there, with those effective against armor axes there. And if we look over here, you'll see he's got his cavalry, just 2 cavalry units there. Now, these cavalry, these mounted nobles, are not rubbish cavalry, but they're not elite cavalry either. They're very mediocre cavalry there. So, as I say, now remember that Saxons is Barclayman's faction of choice on Barbarian Invasion. He really likes the Saxons, but of course, like I said, we're all still experimenting with different armies, different units, and things like that. Our fourth teammate is myself, Spartan commander. I've got 6 comitatenses, 3 plumbartarii, 2 spears, 5 cavalry, and 2 carriage ballistas, which we'll have a closer look at in a minute. But as I say, it's all experimental here. And here you'll see I've got my plumbartarii here. Okay, there. So you've got my comitatensis there, which of course, as I say, as we looked at before, those are eagle units there. So all the comitatensis are bringing extra morale. But these are the plumbartarii. Now, these guys can be absolutely devastating. If you look in their shield hands, can you see those effective against armor little darts, metal darts that they throw? They've got so many of those metal darts, they can be absolutely devastating, these plumbartarii. If you see a Roman army full of plumbartarii, they can actually destroy enemy armies by sheer missile power before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. Here's the cavalry that I've bought, Equitae Clibanarii. As I say, that's the cavalry that most people bring with effective against armor maces there. Okay, so that's the cavalry that I've got. So there's our team. They were only got the carriage ballistas there. These guys, the missile that these guys fire are so powerful, they can go into the front of a unit and come out the back of a unit, killing loads of men on the way through that unit. So we only allow 2 of these per faction there. Okay, so there's our team. This should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have KOS Danny. Now, Danny's got 14 plumbartarii, 1 comitatensis, 4 cavalry, and 1 carriage ballista. Okay, this is Danny's faction of choice. And that is, of course, the Roman Eastern Empire rebels. Once again, you'll see them carrying those effective against metal darts. As I say, he's got 14 of these plumbartarii, and they can throw, they seem to throw at least 10, 12 missiles each. And as it's effective against armor missiles, make no mistake, an army like this can destroy an enemy army by sheer missile fire before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. On Barbarian Invasion, the Roman troops, it's just the missiles that kill enemy troops that really does the damage. There's the comitatensis there, the eagle unit. So he's got 1 eagle unit in his army there, and my guess is he's gone for the Equitae Clibanarii. There you are. He's gone for the Equitae Clibanarii, look, with their effective against armor maces for his cavalry, and of course he's got that carriage ballista as well that fire those powerful missiles there. So that's Danny's faction of choice there. He always brings that faction, and his army is tried and tested there. Okay, their next teammate is Aeimnestus the Hun, Brotherhood member Aeimnestus the Hun, and he has got 4 horse archers and 10 cavalry. But there's something you might find interesting about the Hun faction here. If you just look at the numbers of a cavalry unit there in the Hun faction, can you see 66? So the Hun faction, their cavalry is 68, where most cavalry are only 54. Can you see? If you look at there, can you see most cavalry units are 54, but these are 66. So they get an extra 12 men per cavalry unit for the Hun faction there. Okay, so just to let you know that. And they're because they've got no foot archers, we allow them to have 4 horse archers, and these Hunnic elite warrior are some of the best horse archers in the game. So they've got, as I say, allowed 4 there, with most, where everybody else is only allowed 2 horse archers, they're allowed 4 just because they've got no foot archers. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member First Prime. Now, First Prime's got 14 Plumbartri, 1 Comitatensis, 3 cavalry, and 2 carriage ballistas there. So once again, his army are full of Plumbartri troops there, being able to throw those effective against armoured darts there. There you are, he's got his 1 Comitatensis left for the extra morale bonus. But as I say, with those type of numbers there, the Plumbartri, the carriage ballistas, the missiles that they can throw, they literally do destroy whole armies if you're not careful before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. Right, let's see who their last teammate is, if we can find them in the woods. There we go. And their last teammate is Brotherhood member Uther. Now, Uther's got the Franks faction here, and he's got 12 Franciscan Herbands, 1 peasant, and 6 paladins. Okay, but of course most of his army are hiding in the woods. There's his Franciscan Herbands there. See those axes? Those are throwing axes, and they're effective against armour. And he's got 14 of those Franciscan Herbands, so he's got a lot of firepower there with those effective against armour axes. We'll have a look at the rest of his army when the battle opens a little bit more, because of course they're all hiding in the woods at the moment. So there's the enemy team. This should be a cracking battle. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, you'll see here that Aeimnestus the Hun, he really gets into the spirit of Barbarian Invasion there by calling himself Aeimnestus the Hun, and he is moving his horse archers round the flank of our ally there. Okay, Aeimnestus's faction of choice are the Huns. He really likes using the Huns there. Okay, and over there you'll see that Uther is now bringing his troops out of the woods there. You can see them running out of the woods there. And as I say, he's got 14 of those Francisca Herban axe throwing units there, effective against armour axes as well there. So he's got a lot of firepower there with those Francisca Herban units. Over here you'll see that TR is moving his Alemanni army over to the centre there to team up with his teammates there. But I think what there you are, you can see him moving over towards Surena. But I think what Aeimnestus the Hun wants to do is to bring his horse archers there. Let's say you can see them there through the woods there. Can you see them? There they are there. I think what he would like to do is bring his horse archers round here and target TR's Alemanni army, which of course are barbarian troops, very susceptible to missile damage. Okay, and he'd like to target really any of these units here, especially shooting them in the back while they're moving over towards their allies. But there is a couple of units he really would like to damage, and of course that is the Berserker units there. See the Berserker units? That's the units that he would really like to damage with his horse archers if he could. Okay, so as I say, you can see Aeimnestus there bringing his horse archers around, and as I say, these Alemanni units of TR are probably the targets that he'd like to hit. Roman troops are so well armoured that they do suffer minimal casualties from enemy archers there. But you can see that's what's going on there, and you can see I'm moving my army over towards the centre as well, so we're going to form up there as a team. And we'll just have to see what the enemy team's going to do about that once we have formed up. Should be a cracking battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this very early stage of the battle here, you'll see that we are, as I say, forming up in the centre. I just want to show you this particular movement here by sneaky Barclayman here, hiding some eunuchs in the woods here. As I say, they're this is quite a good tactical move here. He's hoping that probably if he puts these units into the woods and they hide, that the enemy might not notice that they're there, or maybe forget that they're there. And of course he can then use them in a very tactical and strategic way later on in the battle there. Okay, so I just wanted to show you here Barclayman hiding these units in the woods. Maybe these units might prove to be quite important later on in the battle. Okay, so just give you a heads up on that. But as you can see them, he's just moving into the woods now to hide up. And here you can see how our team has set up here. I think we do look quite defensive to me. We have quite defensive here. You can see that Surena here has set his army up to face Aeimnestus, his horse archers, and those carriage ballistas there. Okay, but there, can you see these Saxon units of Barclayman? As he stands still, his units will disappear in the woods there, as we've seen in other battle videos where they're hiding in the woods there. I think as they're being hit by arrows at the moment, they tend to it keeps them activated so they don't disappear. But there was one unit at the far end there of those three that have just disappeared. But as I say, it's these units here that Barclayman's hiding in the woods. There's another unit just hiding there. And they may prove quite important later on in the battle there. Okay, but as I say, here you can see, pause the game for a second, I just want to show you my battle formation here for a Barbarian Invasion, my Roman battle formation here. Okay, if you look closely there, you'll see that the two pilot shield units are Legio Lanciarii. Okay, you can see they got spears, so they are anti-cavalry, so they stop a head-on cavalry attack going into my infantry, and they can throw missiles as well. Then I got a Comitatensis unit there. So those three units are my pilot shield units. I've then got the Plumbartarii behind them in open order, and then I've got my Comitatensis in behind them. So that seems to be quite an effective battle formation for me on Barbarian Invasion. But you'll notice here that both Danny and First Prime are moving their Roman armies forward side by side. So you think about, I think each one of them have got 14 Plumbartarii in each of their armies. So they've got 28 Plumbartarii. Remember, that's the units that throw those effective against armor metal darts. Imagine the firepower that they're going to put down onto our troops now. As I say, the Roman armies on Barbarian Invasion, what they rely on mostly is the missile damage that they do before they get into hand-to-hand fighting. There are factions in this game that will beat Roman troops in hand-to-hand fighting, but the problem is getting close to those Roman troops through the massive missile volleys that these Roman troops can throw. They were, as I say, Danny and First Prime, they used to be in a core clan together, so they fight together quite well. They know each other quite well there, and you can see they're fighting side by side with their Roman armies. But here you're going to see some if you just look up at the sky, look at the missiles that's going in there. From both sides there, you can see those effective against armor metal darts coming in there, and you can see that as I say, the damage that they can do with those effective against armor metal darts just can be absolutely devastating to enemy armies, as I say, before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting there. Okay, over here you'll see that Uther's bringing his Franks faction, his Frankish troops forward there. Remember, those Franciscan Herban troops have got effective against armor throwing axes. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So, as I say, you got First Prime and Danny fighting side by side there. The missiles that they're going to throw, as I say, into our troops, our allies' troops there, it's just going to be absolutely devastating there. And then say you got Uther's Frankish troops moving forward, but look at all the cavalry. You've got the Hun cavalry ready to attack, and you've got Danny's cavalry and First Prime's cavalry there. And remember, these are all elite cavalry there. That's a heck of a lot of cavalry there that they've got massed, maybe ready to charge straight into the forward units there. As I say, you can see here Uther moving his Frankish army forward towards my Roman army there. Okay. So, as I say, you can see Uther's put his peasant unit out the front of his infantry there. And I think, if I remember correctly, my allies shot them to pieces with arrows there. I made sure I kept my units on non-firing, so they're not going to be throwing any expensive missiles into those peasants. Right, over here on the left flank, I'm moving my carriage ballistas. Now, I think this might be the first time I've ever used carriage ballistas, so I'm not very good with them, really. I'm still experimenting. But here comes the paladins. Now these are the Frankish paladins. Now those of you who like statistics might like to know that they have actually got 27 defense and 14 attack, but the main thing they've got is a massive 10 charge bonus. Okay, most cavalry, all the other cavalry in this game have got a 6 charge bonus. These guys have got a massive 10 charge bonus. Remember, the charge bonus is the impact and penetration and damage that they do when they actually hit enemy units. So these guys got a massive 10 charge bonus there, and he's got 6 of those units. He got them well upgraded as well. Now what I thought was, I've got my carriage ballistas on skirmish mode, so if enemy troops get close to them, because they're fast moving, they should be able to outrun enemy troops. Okay, because I've got skirmish mode on, they're fast moving, so as I say, I'm shooting missiles into those Frankish infantry. But here comes the paladins. Now these carriage ballistas should be able to outrun the paladins, look, but they've got caught. See, my carriage ballista just got caught there by those paladin cavalry. So, as I say, I was quite surprised at that. But as I say, that's the first time I've used these carriage ballistas, so I'll have to get a little bit more used to them there. But I've lost those two. They may well rally, but we'll wait and see. If you notice here, I'm charging my cavalry over there to try and counter that attack. But as I say, just look at the missile damage here done to our troops. Before, as I say, they've even got to hand fighting. Those, as I say, the effective against armor metal darts. If we have a close look at one here, there you are. There's, look, can you see? This is a real missile used by the Romans back in the day. Notice they've got flights for accuracy. They really were really effective against enemy troops there. I think there's a line of our allies' troops there that have just been wiped out by missile damage. As I say, that's just one line there. And I think they put their archers, my allies put their archers forward as well to try and soak up the missiles. But as I say, the sheer missile power of these two Roman armies, especially working side by side, is going to be devastating there. You can see that peasant unit of Uther has been shot to pieces by archers. I certainly haven't thrown any of my missiles at that cheap unit there. I'm keeping my missiles back for those Franciscan Hurban axemen when they get close there. Okay, you can see that I think my two carriage ballistas have rallied here, so I'm going to be shooting missiles into those Franciscan Hurban units. Remember, the missiles are so powerful, they go into the front of a enemy unit and come out the back, killing loads of enemy on the way through. Okay, so here you'll see those Franciscan Hurban axemen throwing their effective against armor axes in. You can see my guys are retaliating with missiles as well. So there's a real kind of missile battle going on here between Uther's forward units and my forward units there as well. Okay, remember those Legii spear units I've got in front of my battle formation are they do throw missiles as well. Right, now over here on our left flank you'll see that an Aeimnestus the Hun is bringing his cavalry, plus you've got the paladins of Uther there looking like to maybe come round and do a left flanking action on us here. So we need to be aware of that. That's a heck of a lot of elite cavalry coming round to our left flank. Okay, so as I say, we need to be aware of that. But meanwhile over here, Danny and First Prime here moving forward into our troops there, just destroying our troops with missiles as they're moving forward. You've got Aeimnestus the Hun with his horse archers out behind us, plus we've got those long range carriage ballistas. If you notice there, can you see they're firing missiles from this range? Look at the range that those carriage ballistas have got, shooting into the rear of our allies troops there. So as I say, those carriage ballistas can be very useful from what I can see, just range wise at least, plus the damage that they do here. But as I say here, the Frankish Franciscan Hurban troops of Uther, he's charging forward there into my forward units. And there you can see Aeimnestus the Hun moving his Hun cavalry round to our left flank, plus you've got the paladins of Uther there. And if you notice here, you'll see Uther is now moving his infantry forward. If you notice, I'm moving my cavalry closer to my infantry there, seeing how outnumbered that I'm going to be if all that cavalry attacks. There, just look at the volume of missiles I'm sending in to those Franciscan Hurbans from my comitatenses there, those 120-man comitatenses, plus I've got my Plumbartoi shooting those effective against armour darts into those Franciscan Hurbans as well. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So, over here on our right flank, you'll see that the enemy are charging their infantry forward. They're holding their cavalry back, ready to charge them in when they're ready. But Danny and First Prime here with their green Roman armies are really making inroads into our flank there. And as I say, Uther's moving forward with his Frankish troops there. But just look at all that cavalry on our left flank. Remember, those are elite cavalry units there, looking to maybe smash our left flank there, which is where I am. So need to be very, very aware of what's going on there on that left flank. Right here you'll see that Surena is charging some of his cavalry in. Now it wouldn't surprise me if Danny and First Prime counter-attacked with their cavalry. There is his cavalry going in, and bang, as it smashes in there. Right, can you see that? I think it's Danny and First Prime both attacking with their cavalry, look, and bang, as they counter-attack into Surena's cavalry there. If Surena doesn't send reinforcements, I think his cavalry's going to rout. There you go. They've just routed there, look. Those cavalry units just got smashed and crashed by all those enemy cavalry units counter-attacking there. Okay, so you can see a lot of Surena's cavalry units have been routed there by the counter-attack of Danny and First Prime. That was a really smash and crash counter-attack there by them. And you can see here that Aeimnestus the Hun is charging in with his cavalry. Those horse archers there charging into the rear of some of Surena's infantry there. So things not looking very good on our right flank. And look at First Prime's army, basically intact and ready to move forward right into the centre of our battle formation there. As I say, I've moved my 5 cavalry units closer to my infantry there, because if their cavalry does attack, at least I might be able to bring some infantry units in to help my cavalry. Okay, so there's a general overview of what's happening, and things that are happening are not very good for our team. As I say, it looks like our right flank is in danger of being smashed, crashed and broken there by the enemy troops moving there. Okay, loads of cavalry there. If you look, can you see loads of Surena's infantry? In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, all of Surena's infantry has now been taken out, plus a couple of our allies' infantry units that they've put in there to try and shore up our right flank have been routed as well. So as I say, Danny and First Prime playing really well together, as they always do. As I say, many years ago they were in the core clan together and they played really well as a team then, and you can see they're still doing it now in 2023. Okay, so here you can see that the axes there of the Franciscan Urban units are still being thrown into my units there. But you can see, right, here comes Aeimnestus with his Hun cavalry. Remember, each one of those Hun cavalry units has got 66 cavalrymen in, when all the other cavalry units in the game have just got 54. And there he goes, like a bang, as he charges into our allies' cavalry. And you can see I've got my cavalry there ready to counterattack. But what's really worrying me here is I think that this is a feint. I think that's a tactical move by the enemy team, because Uther with his Frankish paladins with their 10 charge bonus, I think they're going to smash into the flank of my infantry, okay, if I try and attack that Hun cavalry. I think the Hun cavalry are bait there for me to move my cavalry away and leave my infantry unprotected by cavalry. And it wouldn't surprise me if Uther attacked with his infantry as well to pin and hold my forward units. As I say, look at First Prime's infantry, basically intact and moving forward into our battle formation there. And as I say, here you can see well, on our right flank we're losing loads of men there. You can see a lot of our units being routed there, and you can see Danny's green Roman army moving in there as well. So, and here comes First Prime's green Roman army as well. Remember, the green Roman army are the enemy armies, the Roman armies in this battle, okay? And you can see them both moving in there. Oh my gosh, it looks like our right flank is just on the verge of breaking there. Okay, so here you can see Aeimnestus now is attacking my cavalry. Now that is a deliberate tactic there to hold and pin my cavalry so I can't help my infantry. Okay, so my cavalry is going to be held and pinned by that Hun cavalry there. Okay, well, remember that Uther's paladins have got a 10 charge bonus. That's the biggest charge bonus, I think, in the game, and they're going to smash into the flank of my infantry there. Here you can see Surena trying to bring some of his cavalry over here to help me against this massive Hun cavalry attack. So there's the situation, and as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if Uther charges infantry into my forward units to hold and pin my forward units. Right, there you are. There you can see the paladins going in with their 10 charge bonus, and bang, as I smash in to the flank of my engaged troops there. Just look at the impact and penetration of that 10 charge bonus into my infantry. Right, let's pause the game. As we thought here, there you can see that my cavalry is being held and pinned by Aeimnestus, his Hun cavalry there. That was exactly what they wanted to do. Well, Uther brought in his paladins into the flank of my infantry. Also, you'll notice, as we thought, he's charging forward with his infantry to pin and hold my forward units as he smashes into the flank of my units there with his cavalry. Notice how he's keeping his general out of the fight. He's keeping his general safe and out of the fight there, but still giving general morale bonus to his troops there. Look. So it's a nice move there by Uther, smashing and crashing my infantry. Over here you'll see that TR has now activated his berserkers. Okay, now remember, berserkers bring a big fear factor, plus their great attacking specifications as well there against Danny's and First Prime's army. Right, now do you remember we saw that sneaky Barclayman hid some units in the woods, and I said to you they may well prove important to this battle. He's now going to bring them out of the woods and charge into the rear of the enemy Roman troops. Now, will that be a pivotal moment to the battle? I guess we'll just have to see there, but you can see, just look at the numbers of enemy green Roman troops there. And there's a close-up of the berserkers up, using those double-handed swords, those big double-handed swords there on the Roman troops, cutting into them, throwing them up into the air. Just look at that. Plus you've got those chosen axemen in there as well. But over here right now, the paladins are going to charge into my cavalry as well, and bang! So I'm now facing, oh my gosh, just look at all that paladin cavalry smashed in. So my cavalry now are fighting Aeimnestus as Huns there, plus the paladins of Uther with their fantastic specifications there and that 10 charge bonus. Oh my gosh. And as I say, here you see several of my units now have been routed there. You can see a lot of my units been routed, and those Hurban Franciscan Hurban units attacking my infantry. I'm taking some of my infantry over here to try and help my beleaguered cavalry, if you notice there. But things not looking very good here on my left flank. Here you can see, I think TR is doing really well with his cavalry, trying to hold up the enemy green Roman cavalry there that we're trying to get over to help Aeimnestus. Oh my gosh. I mean, you can see that there. It's a good hold there by TR. But as I say, you've got Surena's cavalry over here as well, helping my cavalry against Aeimnestus as Hun's army there. But as I say, things not looking very good, I don't think, for our team at this stage of the battle. I don't know what you guys think, but just look at what's going on all over the battlefield here, and it just looks, as I say, pretty poor for our team there. Just look at those paladins just charging in to my cavalry there. So as I say, my cavalry here, I think, is doing well, just holding here. Remember, my cavalry is pretty solid. They've got those effective against armour maces that they're using on those Frankish paladins there. You can see I'm bringing some infantry over, as I said, to try and help my beleaguered cavalry there. But I've lost a heck of a lot of my infantry already there, so I haven't got a lot to spare really if I'm trying to hold the front as well. Meanwhile, here you can see those berserkers and chosen axemen there of both TR and Barclayman Saxons there, attacking those troops, those enemy Roman troops there. And as I say, over here you can see I'm running my infantry in there to attack those paladins there. Can you see how my infantry's moving in there, trying to help my cavalry out there? I think one of my cavalry units is just actually broken there. But you can see those Franciscan Hurban Frankish troops coming in behind my infantry as well. But as I say, what I think Uther's going to do with his cavalry, bearing in mind he got that 10 charge bonus, I think he's just going to keep pulling that cavalry out and charging in, getting the full cavalry charge bonus, doing damage, and then pulling them back out again and charging in again. That's what I think he's going to do. There you are. It looks like we've routed all of Aeimnestus as Huns there, Hun cavalry, which is good news for us. But I think we've suffered so many casualties now that from that Hun cavalry and those paladins charging in there, that things not looking very good here for us there. But here you can see my infantry now There you can see I've got my general unit, not a lot of men left in those units there, and I've got those Franciscan Herban axemen closing in on me, plus those paladin cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in as well with their massive 10 charge bonus. But over here, I think our allies may be turning things around a little bit here. Those berserker units and those chosen axemen there, plus as I say, those units that Barclayman hiding in the woods, like he's brought them out to attack the rear of those enemy Roman troops. Remember that there are factions and units in this game that will beat Roman troops in hand-to-hand fighting. There's Danny's general's been routed there, look. So there we are, you can see his general running from the battlefield. But of course the problem is getting close. He's getting those units that will beat Roman infantry in hand-to-hand fighting. He's getting them close to the infantry to fight, trying to get through the massive missile barrage that they face from the Roman troops there. Especially those let's say those plumbarturi that throw those effective against armour metal darts there. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here to take stock of exactly what's going on. So there you can see, I think we're doing quite well against that Roman infantry, but now here, this could be a decisive, pivotal part of the battle here. You'll see that Uther is now going to switch his infantry and cavalry to go into the rear of our allies' troops there. Those paladins there with their 10 charge bonus and those Franciscan Herban infantry are all going to charge into the rear. Now I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to intercept those infantry if I can with my troops there. But they've got a big head start on me here. A lot of my troops are very battle depleted there. So you can see actually that those berserkers of TR are really making inroads into those Roman troops. Look, I mean, there's a good chance they can actually rout them there. Look. You know, rout that army, but these paladins and these Frankish infantry coming in behind us, I think, as I say, this could prove to be absolutely pivotal. Right, there goes the paladins with their 10 charge bonus, look, charging in there, and bang, as they charge into our troops there. And then you've got those Franciscan Herban axemen charging in behind us as well. So, as I say, these Frankish troops coming in here could prove absolutely pivotal. I think that was Surena's general has just been taken out. So we've lost Surena's general morale bonus there. Yep, they are. And actually has been killed, so there's no chance of a rally there. So now I think all of Surena's army has now been routed. Okay, so all of Surena's army has been routed now, and that's just my troops now. I'm trying to intercept those Frankish troops there, but they've done the damage, I think, to my allies' troops that are getting in behind there. So as I say, there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment. But those paladins, as I say, the paladins, those Frankish paladins of Uther have done so much damage here, and as I say, charging in like they've just done there, I think they could prove absolutely pivotal to the battle there. You can see my Roman troops charging in. Now what I'd like to do is kill that Frankish general if I can. That's the unit I'm going to go for. But once again, can you see Uther pulling his cavalry back out of the fray? He's going to pull his paladins back out of the fray, and he's probably going to lock and load them and charge them back in, because he knows he's got the biggest charge bonus in the game with those 10 charge bonus. There you are, let's see. He's locked and loaded his cavalry. There you are, and he's going to charge them in again. Look, and bang, as he charges in there. As I say, with that 10 charge bonus, remember the charge bonus is the impact and penetration, and that's what he's doing. He's making the most of that. There you are, you can see our troops charging. You can see Aeimnestus just charged some cavalry into the flank of my Roman troops there. But once again, look, can you see that Uther's pulling his paladin cavalry out once more, going to lock and load, and they are battle damage, but they still got that 10 charge bonus, and they are going to charge in there once again. So as I say, there you are, let's see, pull them out again, charge them in again, like, bang, get the full cavalry charge bonus every time he charges in with those paladins, look, routing our units as he goes in there. You can see TR charging his general in there as well. As I say, my Roman infantry, what I'm trying to do is kill that Frankish general there. You can see TR has just charged his general in, possibly trying to kill that Frankish general as well. But that's what my Roman infantry are concentrating on there, trying to kill the Frankish general there, take the morale bonus away. Okay, you've got a Barclayman's general over there, which I think is an axe unit. Effective against armour axe unit there. He would like to kill the Roman general if we could do that as well. But as I say, make no mistake, this battle's going to go right down to the wire. Which way do you think it's going to go here? As I say, my Roman troops are really trying to fight to kill that Frankish general there. Take the morale bonus away. I think if we killed his general there, we could get a mass rout going of his troops. There you can see TR charging his general in again, look, trying to go for that Frankish general. There's a paladins of Uther charging again, look, and bang as he charges in there. Just look at the impact and penetration, even of his tired battle damaged cavalry. That's what a 10 charge bonus can do. Look, he's going for my general there, look. And you can see there Aeimnestus charging his general in there as well. You got one man left in that unit, but he's charging it in, trying to kill my general as well. And there you are, you can see here. Right, the carriage ballista's been alt attacked and charged in as well, look. Oh my gosh, they've even charged the carriage ballista in. Oh my gosh, so you can see this battle's going right down to the wire here. Right, pause the game for a second here. Okay, so let's say I've got my general there. Not many men left in my general unit. As I say, my 2 Roman units that I've got left are trying to kill that Frankish general. You can see here that Barclayman still got his general left. There's 2 or 3 Alemanni units here of TRs pressing in on the enemy infantry there. Remember, the enemy are the blue Frankish troops and the green Roman troops. Okay, so if you just look at the numbers there, it give you an idea of exactly what's happening there. You can see, oh my gosh, as I say, this is going to go right down to the wire. Remember, the enemy are the green Roman troops and the blue Frankish troops. Oh my gosh, that's my general has just been routed there. And my other unit. So that's my Roman troops. That's all my army now has been taken out. And there's my general just been killed by those Franciscan Hurban. And there's the cavalry going in again. Look at the paladins, like a bang, as Uther charged them in again. Once again, getting that 10 charge bonus there. So it looks to me like really Uther's cavalry, those paladins, have done so much damage on the battlefield here that they could have proved pivotal there. You can see TR charging his general unit in again, trying to cause as many casualties to the enemy troops as he can. But I think, to be honest with you here, looking at the situation, it looks to me like the enemy team has gone on to win the battle there. Right, let's pause the game for a second there. You can see TR. I think TR's got 1 unit left, a chosen Axemen unit left. But let's have a look at the numbers left in the enemy team here, just as a matter of interest in a minute. But you can see the battle's quite spread out. Over here, this is where my cavalry and Surena's cavalry, and I think some of TR's cavalry here, were fighting that massive Hun cavalry army there of 10 or 11 elite cavalry units there. And I thought that was a great tactic to hold our cavalry up while Uther then could smash his paladins into the flank of my infantry. Here you can see this was a big infantry fight here as we look down through the dead there. You can see there are lots of dead troops there on this left flank of ours. You can see loads of dead there, and as we move over to the right flank, to the centre, the right centre, and there you are, there's that line of allied troops there got taken out by missile troops before they even got into hand-to-hand fighting. But over here that you can see there that the amount of dead, you can see how intense the fighting was over here on the right centre and right flank here. You could just see there, there's a carriage ballista, look, when they threw them in there, just to alt attack there. That's how close this battle was going to be. That's why they threw in alt attacked a carriage ballista into the fighting there. They could see how close the fighting was. There you see, you got first prime's got 2 men in that unit. What's he got? Men? That's his general unit there. How many men has he got in there? 10 men in that unit. 14 men in that unit. So you can see very, very battle depleted there. How many men has he got in that unit? So 3 men in that unit there, so 37 men. You got a few more in there, and then you got the Frankish, look, 4 in that unit, 10 in that unit there. So 13 men in that unit, 7 men in that unit, 4 men in his general unit, nearly killed his general, and 12 men in that unit. So you can see that the enemy troops that are left are extremely battle depleted there. So my guess is going to be a very close battle. And there you are, you can see 1 unit of TRs is effective against armour axemen there. Let's put it on to maybe triple speed there.
And drive them from the battlefield.
Remember, these effective against armour axemen can be very, very effective there. There you are, you can see the enemy team attacking him now. So let's go on to normal speed. And you watch these axemen. Look at these effective against armour axemen. Look at that. Look at the damage that they've done to those units there. In fact, I'm not sure if they killed all of the paladins that were left I think in that little tussle there, those axemen just killed all of the paladins that were left there. So well done. Oh, there's one paladin cavalryman left there of Uther's. So there you are. That I thought was a great battle. Well done to the enemy team. Well fought there. And as I say, yeah, so really well played there. But what I thought was going to be a close victory, and yeah, it just tipped into an average defeat for us there. So it's an average victory for them. I thought it would be closer. Who got the highest kills in the game? And that goes to KOS Danny, 1,774. And I'll put big money on most of those kills were the missile damage that he did. As I say, with his 14 Plumbarteri, that would have really made those kills so big as that. So well done to him. Well done to Aeimnestus the Hun. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to, but if you notice, by holding up our cavalry, I think that he proved quite a pivotal part of the battle there, with what he done with his Hun cavalry army there. So well done to Aeimnestus. I thought he did really well there. And as I say, Huns are his faction of choice, and that tactical move they did at the back of our army there, holding us up, was really good. Well done to First Prime. Look at the kills that he got also, and I put big money on most of those kills were by his missile troops there, his Plumbarteri. And well done to Uther. Great kills there as well with his Frankish army. So really well played, guys. Great battle there. Thought he did really well. My Roman kills, not great. I don't not that pleased with the kills there. Well done to Surena. Now bear in mind, I think that might be the second game he's ever played on Barbarian Invasion. I thought he did quite well. He'd be disappointed with the kills, but of course we're all still learning this game. Well done to Barclayman there with his faction of choice. I thought he did really well there. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he still played well. And well done to TR with the Alemanni faction. Third highest kills in the game. So well done to TR there. As I say, we're all still experimenting and trying different armies and things there. And look at the diversity of our team. Rome, Saxon and Alemanni in our team. And then they had Rome, Huns, Rome and Franks in their team. So it was quite a diverse battle there. And just to say, we play Barbarian Invasion every Sunday night. If any of you watching would like to join us, you'd be more than welcome to come and join and play with us. And as you can see, it is a really great game. It stood in the shadow of RTW for a long time, but it is worth a go.